Welcome everyone. In this lecture we are going to see the system design examples. As already we have seen the system design for specific performance, then satellite communication link design procedures and uplink attenuation and C by N for uplink, then downlink attenuation in RAIN and C by N for downlink. After that now we will see the system design example. The following sample system designs demonstrate how the ideas developed can be applied to the design of satellite communication systems. System and satellite specification, then Ku band satellite parameters that has been given here. The geostationary at 73 degree west longitude and 28 Ku band transponders, then total these are some parameters that we are going to describe here is total RF output power is 2.24 kilowatt, then antenna gain on axis for transmit and receive is 31 dB, receive system noise temperature is 500 Kelvin, transponder saturated output power that is at Ku band is 80 watt and transponder bandwidth for Ku band is 54 megahertz. This for signals. Now we are going to see the system specifications, that is compressed digital video signals with transmitted symbol rate of 43.2 MSPS, minimum permitted overall carrier to noise ratio in the receiver is 9.5 dB. Then transmitting Ku band earth station parameters, that is antenna diameter is 5 meter, aperture efficiency 68%, uplink frequency 14.15 gigahertz, required C by N in Ku band transponder is 30 dB, transponder high power amplifier output back off is 1 dB, and miscellaneous uplink losses, that is 0.3 dB. Location is for 2 dB contour of satellite receiving antenna, that is location is for minus 2 dB. For a receiving Ku band earth station, the parameters are for downlink frequency 11.45 GHz, receiver IF noise bandwidth 43.2 MHz, antenna noise temperature 30 K, low noise amplifier noise temperature 110 K, and required overall carrier to noise ratio in clear air is 17 dB, whereas miscellaneous downlink losses of 0.2 dB, whereas location is minus 3 dB contour of satellite transmitting antenna. Then for RAIN attenuation and propagation factors for Ku band and clear air attenuation is for uplink, which is at 15 gigahertz, that attenuation is 0.7 dB, and for downlink again 11.45 gigahertz, that is 0.5 dB. With RAIN attenuation consideration, uplink with 0.01% of ear is 6 dB, and for downlink of the same 0.01% of ear is 5 dB. So these are some of the parameters and propagation factors we consider here. Now the system design examples. This examines the design of a satellite communication link using a Ku band geostationary satellite with bent pipe transponder to distribute digital TV signals from an earth station to many receiving stations throughout the United States. The design requires that an overall carrier to noise ratio of 9.5 dB be met in the TV receiver to ensure that the video signal on the TV screen is held to an acceptable level. The uplink transmitter power and the receiving antenna gain and diameter are determined for each system. The available link margins for each of the systems are found and the performance of the system is analyzed when RAIN attenuation occurs in the satellite earth paths. The advantages and disadvantages of implementing uplink power control are considered. In this example, the satellite is located at 73 degree west. However, for international registrations of this satellite location, the location would be denoted as 287 degree eastward. The link budgets developed in the examples below use decimal notations throughout, and the satellite and earth stations are specified here in the figure as shown and satellite television distribution system. So in this we can see that the Ku band satellite is given with Ku band uplink frequencies. For the program material from studio we can send from the earth station to the satellite, and this is the uplink earth station now, and these are the Ku band downlink to given to the cable TV network. So this is simply a cable TV receive stations. These are the cable TV receive stations, and satellite television distribution system is shown here. We must find the uplink transmitter power required to achieve carrier to noise ratio for uplink is equal to 30 dB in clear air atmospheric conditions. We will first find the noise in the transponder for 43.2 MHz bandwidth and then add 30 dB to find the transponder input power level. That is for uplink noise power budget we consider here is K is Boltzmann constant, which is given minus 228.6 dB watt per Kelvin per Hertz. TS is the system noise temperature 500 K, and noise power is 27 dB Kelvin, and for bandwidth 43.2 megahertz, which is for noise power budget is 76.4 dB Hertz, and N is the transponder noise power is minus 125.2 dB watt. The received power level at the transponder input must be 30 dB greater than the noise power, and PR is the power at the transponder input, which is minus 95.2 dB watt. The uplink antenna has a diameter of 5 meter and an aperture efficiency of 68%. At 14.15 GHz, the wavelength is 2.120 centimeter, or it is 0.0212 meter. The antenna gain can be calculated as 10 log to the base 10 of 0.68 into pi d by lambda bracket square, and that is given as 55.7 dB. We can calculate the free space path loss, and that LP is given as 10 log of 4 pi r by lambda bracket square is 207.2 dB. For uplink, that is Ku band uplink design, we can see here that is for power budget is given. PT is the earth station transmitter power, which is PT dB watt. GT is the earth station antenna gain 55.7 dB, then receiver antenna gain, satellite antenna gain is 31 dB. Free space path loss LP is minus 207.2. Then loss of the transmitting antenna, that is for on 2 dB contour is minus 2 dB, and for miscellaneous losses it is minus 1 dB. PR is the received power at transponder, which is transmitted power minus all the losses we consider is 123.5 dB. The required power at the transponder input to meet the carrier to noise ratio for uplink is equal to 30 dB objective is minus 95.2 dB watt. Hence we can calculate the transmitted power minus 123.5, that is all the losses we consider, is equal to the required power at the transponder is minus 95.2 dB watt. That is PT is equal to 28.3 dB watt or 675 watt. This is a relatively high transmit power, so we would probably want to increase the transmitting antenna diameter to increase its gain, allowing a reduction in the transmit power. The first step is to calculate the downlink, that is now here we are going for Ku band downlink design. Earlier we have designed the Ku band uplink. Okay, now for Ku band downlink design, the first step is to calculate the downlink carrier to noise ratio, that will provide the overall carrier to noise ratio is equal to 70 dB when carrier to noise ratio for uplink is given as 30 dB. So from the equations of overall carrier to noise ratio, it is 1 divided by N1 by C plus N2 by C plus N3 by C, so on. We can calculate the overall carrier to noise ratio as C constant we take outside, and we got here C divided by N1 plus N2 plus N3 and so on. So that to calculate 1 divided by carrier to noise ratio of downlink is equal to 1 divided by overall carrier to noise ratio minus 1 by uh, carrier to noise ratio of uplink, that is not represented here in decibels. So thus carrier to noise ratio, that is 1 by C by N down is equal to 1 by 50 minus 1 by 1000 is equal to 0.019. So carrier to noise ratio of downlink is equal to 52.6, or it is 17.2 dB. We must find the required receiver input power to give the carrier to noise ratio in downlink, that is 17.2 dB, and then find the receiving antenna gain GR. So for the design of downlink noise power budget, we already have Boltzmann constant. Then system noise temperature Ts is 30 plus 110 Kelvin is equal to 140 K, and that is 21.5 dB Kelvin, and bandwidth is 43.2 megahertz, which will give us the power of 76.4 dB watt. And noise power, that is transponder noise power, is minus 130.7 dB watt. The power level at the earth station receiver input must be 17.2 dB greater than the noise power in clear air. So the received power at the earth station input is given as, it is this transponder noise power plus 17.2 dB, that is the receive power level at the input of earth station 17.2 dB. So total is equal to minus 113.5 dB watt. So we need to calculate the path loss at 11.45 gigahertz, and at 14.15 gigahertz path loss was 207.2 dB. So that at 11.45 gigahertz the path loss is given as LP is equal to 207.2 minus 20 log to the base 10 of 14.15 divided by 11.45, which is 205.4 dB. The transponder is operated with 1 dB output back off. So the output power is 1 dB below 80 watt, that is 80 watt will be equivalent to 19 dB watt. So the transmitted power is 19 dB watt minus 1 dB is simply is equal to 18 dB watt. Downlink power budget we can see here is for transponder output power at satellite transponder output power is 18 dB watt, then satellite antenna gain 31 dB, earth station antenna gain GR dB, and free space path loss is minus 205.4 dB. Antenna loss at minus 3 dB, contour of satellite antenna is minus 3 dB. Other miscellaneous losses is minus 0.8 dB. So the received power at earth station PR is equal to GR minus 160.2 dB watt. So it is from all the initial loss powers we find 160.2 dB. So the received power is GR minus 160.2 dB. So this way for the downlink design at KU band, the required power into the earth station receiver to meet the carrier to noise ratio for downlink, and that is equal to 17.2 dB. Objective is PRS minus 120.1 dB watt. Hence the receiving antenna must have a gain GR, where we can find out GR is equal to GR minus 160.2 dB is minus 113.5 dB watt, or GR is equal to 46.7 dB, or it is 46,774 as a ratio we can find. The earth station antenna diameter D is calculated from the formula for antenna gain G with a circular aperture. That is, already we have the formula for gain. GR is equal to 0.65 into pi d by lambda bracket square, and that is what given. See in the above is 46,774. So at 11.45 gigahertz the wavelength is 2.62 centimeter or 0.0262 meter. Evaluating the above equation to find D diameter, gives the required receiving antenna diameter D is equal to 2.14 meter. So, in this way we have calculated the downlink design for KU band and uplink design for KU band. Now we have to consider the rain effects at KU band. As we know that KU band utilizes the very high frequency, which is from 14 by 11 gigahertz. That is 14 is the uplink frequency, 14 gigahertz is the uplink frequency, and 11 gigahertz is the downlink frequency. So where the rain will causes tremendous effects on the noise introduced into the signal or the power attenuation in this of the signals. So for the uplink under conditions of heavy rain, the KU band path to the satellite station suffers an attenuation of 6 dB for 0.01% of the year. We must find the uplink attenuation margin and decide whether uplink power control would improve system performance at KU band. The uplink C by N was 30 dB in clear air. With 6 dB uplink path attenuation, the C by N in the transponder falls to 24 dB, and assuming a linear transponder characteristics and no uplink power control, the transponder output power falls to 18 minus 6 is equal to 12 dB watt. The downlink C by N falls by a 6 dB from 17.2 dB to 11.2 dB, and the overall carrier to noise ratio falls by 6 dB to 11 dB. With the minimum overall carrier to noise ratio set at 9.5 dB, the additional margins for uplink attenuation is 1.5 dB. Hence, the link margin available on the uplink is 7.5 dB without uplink power control. This is an adequate uplink rain attenuation margin for many parts of the United States and would typically lead to rain outages of less than 1 hour total time per year. So the downlink attenuation and sky noise increase are the other effects here that we consider. As we know that for the KU band the downlink frequency is 11 gigahertz. The 11.45 gigahertz path between the satellite and the receiver station suffers rain attenuation exceeding 5 dB for 0.01% of the year. Assuming that 100% coupling of sky noise into antenna noise and 0.5 dB clear air gaseous attenuation, calculate the overall carrier to noise ratio under these conditions. We have to go for the calculation. So assume that the uplink station is operating in clear air and we must calculate the available downlink fade margin. For that we need to find the sky noise temperature that results from a total excess path attenuation of 5.5 dB, that is at the clear air attenuation plus rain attenuation. This is the new antenna temperature in rain. Because we assumed 100% coupling between the sky noise temperature and antenna temperature, we must evaluate the change in received power and increase in system noise temperature in order to calculate the change in C by N ratio for the downlink. We need to calculate here change in C by N ratio for the downlink. In clear air, the atmospheric attenuation on the downlink is 0.5 dB. The corresponding sky noise temperature is 270, that is into 1 minus 10 raised to minus 0.05, which is equal to 29 K, which leads to the antenna temperature of 30 Kelvin given in the KU band system specification. Already we have seen all the specifications of KU band. When the rain causes 5 dB attenuation, the total path attenuation from the atmosphere and the rain is 5.5 dB. That is rain attenuation causes 5 dB attenuation and clear air attenuation is 0.5 dB. So the total attenuation is 5.5. The corresponding sky noise temperature we can calculate is T sky in rain is equal to T0 or TO into bracket 1 minus G, where G is 10 raised to minus A by 10 and which is equal to 0.082. whereas T sky rain is equal to 270 into bracket 1 minus 0.282 is equal to 194 Kelvin. These are the rain effects. Thus, the antenna temperature has increased from 30 Kelvin in clear air to 194 Kelvin in rain. The system noise temperature in rain, thus TS rain, is increased from the clear air value of 140 Kelvin. See that 30 Kelvin sky noise temperature plus 110 Kelvin of low noise amplifier temperature. So the TS, that is TS in rain, system noise temperature, is equal to 194 plus 110 is equal to 304 Kelvin, or it is 24.8 dB Kelvin. The increase in noise power, that is delta n, is equal to 10 log of 304 by 140. So 140 is clear air temperature is equal to 3.4 dB. The signal is attenuated by 5 dB in the rain. So the total reduction in downlink carrier to noise ratio is 8.4, which yields a new value that carrier to noise ratio overall in rain is equal to 8.8 dB. And the overall C by N is then found by combining the clear air uplink C by N up of 30 dB with the rain faded downlink C by N down rain of 8.8 dB. This will give us that C by N overall in rain is equal to 8.8 dB. The overall carrier to noise ratio is the minimum acceptable value of 9.5 dB, and the downlink margin is defined as the downlink fade margin is equal to C by N down minus C by N minimum is equal to 17.2 minus 9.5 is 7.7 dB. This is the downlink fade margin. Since downlink rain attenuation of 5 dB causes the overall C by N ratio to go below the minimum permitted value of 9.5 dB, we should recalculate the maximum attenuation that the downlink can sustain, and this involves an iterative process. Since changing the attenuation changes both C and N values in C by N term. At an attenuation level of 5 dB, the increase in noise power is 3.4 dB. So a starting case would be that decreasing the attenuation by 0.3 dB will decrease the noise power by 0.2 dB. The rain attenuation will then be a little less than 5 dB. Recalculating the carrier to noise ratio down for a rain attenuation value of 4.7 dB gives T sky rain is equal to T0 into bracket 1 minus G, where G is equal to 10 raised to minus E by 10 is equal to 0.339. T sky rain is equal to 270 into bracket 1 minus 0.339, that G value is equal to 178 Kelvin. Delta N is equal to 10 log of 288 by 140 is equal to 3.1 dB, and carrier to noise ratio of downlink in rain is equal to 17.2 minus 4.7 minus 3.1 will reduces to 9.4 dB, that is the carrier to noise ratio overall in rain, and it is approximately equal to 3.96 or 9.36, or carrier to noise ratio overall in rain is equal to 9.4 dB. So the result is close enough to the required value of carrier to noise ratio minimum, which is 9.5 dB. To conclude that we can tolerate about 4.7 dB of rain attenuation on the downlink. If better availability is required, less outage time, the diameter of the receiving antenna can be increased. For example, if the receiving antenna diameter is increased to 2.4 meter, that is about 8 feet, the increase in antenna gain is 20 log to the base 10 of 2.4 by 214 is 1 dB, which increase the downlink margin to 8.7 dB. So the repeating the iterative calculation whatever we outlined above The corresponding rain attenuation on the downlink is 5.5 dB with a noise power increase of 3.2 dB. The downlink C by N with 5.5 dB rain attenuation is 17.2 minus 8.7 is 9.5 dB, and the overall carrier to noise ratio will become is equal to approximately 9.5 dB, as already for the initially we calculated is 9.4. With the increase in the diameter it is 9.5 dB. So in this way we can calculate the effect of rain or rain effects at KU band on the downlink design and the uplink design. So in this way we can calculate the KU band link performance with the help of this rain effects, and then for sky noise temperatures, downlink attenuations. So whatever we have calculated will help us for the design of the satellite links as well as for the design of the satellite antennas, and for downlink and uplink design this will help us. So in this lecture we have seen design of uplink at KU band, design of downlink at KU band, and some of the system examples, its specifications. Also we have calculated the system design examples, then satellite specifications, that for KU band satellite parameters, for transmitting KU band earth station some parameters, then receiving KU band earth station parameters, and for also we have considered the rain attenuation and propagation factors with KU band on clear air attenuation and rain attenuations we have considered. So this all will help us for the design of the downlink and uplink for the satellite communication. In the coming lectures now we are going to see the other parameters of the satellite communications that will deal with some other factors, like we can see the satellite access methods. Okay, so thank you.